How's and aloha. This is Kanaka Cam. You on Akaku. You'll find me on Kanaka Cam YouTube.
Much love, Oli here in Hawaii, and it asks for wisdom. Grant us the wisdom from above. Give us the hidden meanings of the chant. Give it to us, grant it to us, give it to us. I think you're definitely going to get some knowledge this morning, and as I understand it, the wisdom is going to come from the interaction with you folks. And then I said, welcome to the Hawaiian Islands Humpback Whale. My name is Robin. I'm a sanctuary volunteer. Hi, Peter. How are you doing? And I have one really important thing to say. Two, actually. One, the restrooms are out to the right. And with that, I turn it over to Wendy.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Robin. Robin helped us yesterday and today. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming to Building Community Connections. My name is Wendy Stebbins, and I'm the Volunteer Center Coordinator. We're the host, the host and the coordinator of this training today. The Volunteer Center does a whole host of things. Raise your hand if you're familiar with our website, Hands on Maui. Raise your hand. Awesome. And raise your hands if you're familiar with our Get Connected program. The Get Connected program is raise your hand high, please. I just want to know who's familiar and who's not. Okay, so actually this is our new homepage today. It's not public yet, so we're still working on it. But this is our Hands on Maui, and Get Connected is our volunteer management system where nonprofit organizations can become partner agencies and sign up, and they post their volunteer opportunities, their volunteer needs, their events, their in-kind needs, and even they can post employee needs. And I'm going to keep going. Sorry. So if you're a volunteer here today, you can sign up as a volunteer on our Get Connected program, and you would just hit, I want to volunteer. And you can sign up right here. Or can you see that? Okay. And also you can come down here and it says Get Started, and that will show you. Get Started is actually for volunteers and for agencies. And volunteers can sort by all different things, like causes, interests, age groups, and we have about 80 partner agencies with over a couple hundred opportunities on our website. Right now, we are currently going through like a refresh, reconnect, re-energize update of our Get Connected program and our website. So we hope to build it as a Get Connected community, kind of like a Facebook group a little bit. And we're really going to be encouraging agencies to post their volunteer needs and volunteers. And when you sign up and you receive notifications via your email. So, and the agency connects with you via email. If you do sign up and you don't hear from an agency, give them a call. They're and agencies, please, update your information. Here's the agency tab, and agency phone numbers are on there. So it's a really powerful volunteer management tool, either for volunteers. Volunteers can track their volunteer hours. You can build a volunteer resume also on it. And really powerful for agencies. If you're with a nonprofit agency, you get to post your volunteer needs, ongoing or events. You get our monthly newsletter. You get notifications of these free trainings, and let's see. Sorry, there's just a bunch of things, and I don't want to take up much more of your time because we have a great guest here that's going to go on through with the training. So I'm going to just kind of pass these out. This is about Get Connected, so if you can just pass them around, I greatly appreciate it. A couple more things about just our website. Each month, you can nominate a volunteer. If you're with a nonprofit group, every month we highlight a volunteer. Every month we highlight an agency. We're about 3 months into this program. So share your volunteers, give them the recognition, or your agencies, share your success. We put these out on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest, so please follow us on those social media channels. We do blog posts twice a month, and we're always looking for guest bloggers, and here we go. This is new, and you can sign up and get our notifications. So this is our new homepage. It's not public yet, but it's a really great tool for agencies and people who want to volunteer. And we get people worldwide, volunteering. So that come to Maui. Alrighty, so first I want to thank all of you volunteers and all of you guys that came today and the volunteers that helped set up. Thank you so much. And I am going to introduce our Deputy Director, Jan Shishido, who's here with us today. She's the Director of Department of Housing and Human Concerns. The Volunteer Center is a division of the Department of Housing and Human Concerns. We're a division of a one staff person, and many volunteers that help. So I would like to introduce Mary Lynn Perry. She is our guest speaker today. She is the City of Sacramento's volunteer coordinator, volunteer director. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mary Lynn. I met Mary Lynn 7 years ago with her husband. They were out in Maui looking for volunteer opportunities. And they came to Kanaha Beach and helped plant some trees, native trees. And then I've connected with Mary Lynn throughout the years at national conferences. A little bit about Mary Lynn. We're so happy to have her here. She was traveling in Hawaii, and we're just blessed with her presence. And Mary Lynn has an extensive background managing volunteers and student interns. For more than 13 years, she has served as a volunteer coordinator for the City of Sacramento, California. She has also served as a volunteer coordinator for the National Museum of African Art, as an education specialist with the Simonian Institute, coordinating student volunteers throughout the 12 museums, and as the executive director of business volunteers for the arts in Sacramento, where she managed pro bono consultant projects with business volunteers for arts organizations, and as a volunteer service manager for Shriners Hospital for Children. In addition, she has served as part-time faculty for CSUS,
California State University, Sacramento,
and Sierra College. She holds a BA from the University of Maryland and an MA from George Washington University in Washington, D.C. She serves on the board of Directors of Volunteers and Agencies, Sacramento, and has served on the advisory board for Mayor Kevin Johnson's Volunteer Initiative, Volunteer Sacramento. She was awarded Volunteer Coordinator of the Year in 2010. Mary Lynn currently also serves as the leadership faculty for the Corporate Institute with the Points of Light Foundation. So thank you for letting me introduce Mary Lynn. It's a privilege to introduce her, and also Bill, her husband, too, who's come out. Yeah, so thank you. I'm going to turn it over.
you're going to turn over to me.
hairs are standing up even behind my neck, my chicken skin, goosebumps. Those of you know it's goosebumps. But I am just so blessed to be able to be here today, especially because first I want to recognize Wendy for putting this on and to get connected with Mary Lynn. But then Diane, Amy, and Corinne, her volunteers, are here because of the website. This is the first time they've met Wendy. And so that's how we got our volunteers today. So it works. Get on that website. I didn't see Skeeter, but I have to make sure I thank Skeeter today. That's the better half of Wendy. He's my hero. But Skeeter is our techie guy. So anything that glitches out, it's Skeeter. Call on Skeeter. Who do you call? Skeeter. And I need Bill to come up here. I think Bill knows more about Hawaii and Hawaiiana than I do. Actually, I need to call him Kamakahonu. That is his Hawaiian name, and it means eyes of the turtle. And I think they visited a sanctuary yesterday, and what did you see yesterday?
Well, last night I came down to the beach and 4 turtles sleeping on the beach, some big ones.
Yeah, so we're going to get connected today.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, have a great day. Hit it, Mary Lynn.
Thank you. I wanted to talk a little bit about me, just a tiny bit, because give you a little bit of my Hawaiian connection. I actually belong to a Halau, and so we refer to it as Ohana Dance Group. That's just the name that it's known as most likely, but we have become a Halau. And my tumu is actually under Frank Hewitt, so that's where the lineage that we come through. So that sheep we feed under Hewitt. And so that's our Halau. And that's me in the blue dress on the left side there. I got the chance to perform a solo hula with Danny Carvalho, who's one of the local musicians that's kind of an up-and-coming musician. You'll see him around. He's on Oahu. If you're flying Hawaiian Airlines, he's on that video, too. You know, so it was a real honor to be able to do that. So I just want to share my Hawaiian connection with you. And also just mention that as Wendy was talking, I've worked in a variety of capacities with volunteers, everything from working with board members to pro bono projects, lots of corporate entities, as well as interns and general volunteers as well. So we'll be talking about a lot of different types of volunteering today. I'm going to go into some specifics working around corporate and groups and pro bono, so some of the areas that we'll get into. But what I wanted to do, Wendy and I were both really curious about who is here today, because on the Eventbrite, I don't think we know who is here. It does give your name, but it doesn't tell us anything about where you're from. And so I was very interested to know what agencies are here, and also why you chose to come to this workshop. So just for a few minutes, I wanted to go around and ask you to introduce yourself, now that you know a little bit about you, and to hear a little bit from you as well. So would you be kind enough to write down a few things for me? Can you scribe a little bit? Volunteer for me. See, it's dangerous to be around a volunteer coordinator. We're always asking people to volunteer, right? Our husbands, our significant others, children, whatever, everybody gets to volunteer. Oh, just someone to scribe a little bit.
You're going to scribe? Okay. Oh, so you wanted me to volunteer?
Could you do that?
Yeah. Does anybody want to scribe from? Yeah. She's going to be leading you.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
I can do it. Yeah.
Oh, then you get to volunteer.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So let's go on that. And what I was going to ask you to write down was just the reason for attending.
Okay.
Yeah. So make sure that we cover what everybody's here for. So Christy, could you just say your name and where you're from?
Sure.
And why you
Yeah, my name's Christy. I'm the volunteer coordinator for Moama Maui Nui, and I'm here because I'm relatively new in the position, and I just want to learn some more about making connections.
I'm Maury. I'm with Maui tomorrow, and I'm here just to see how we can work with our volunteers better.
We'll go this way.
I'm David. With ecobasa.org. We're about connecting people in sustainable communities in a global network of trust and support, and wanting to learn more.
I'm Kathleen Couch with Maui Adult Daycare Centers. And as we take care of our kapuna, we just feel everybody needs to get on board with that, because with the baby boomer era coming about, we all really need to know as much as we can. So we utilize volunteers a lot, and I'm here because of the amazing information Wendy put online about you and advertising this, and because we are lifelong learners and have a lot to gain always. So.
I'm Rob Welton with Sierra Club and also with Kia Community Association, and interested in both increasing the number of volunteers we have working with us, but also increasing the types of volunteers and the types of things they do, learning about the ways to improve that, reach out better.
Hi, I'm Adrienne. I'm also with the Sierra Club. I'm the new Maui Group Coordinator, the first full-time staff member. So I'm here for the same reasons as Rob, and to really also I wanted to see who else was here and learn about other organizations and maybe how we might have intersecting goals. Connections.
My name is Mike. I'm also with the Kihei Community Association, and we wanted to welcome everybody to come to Kihei and see what a wonderful community we have. And also, purpose coming is to try and strengthen our all-volunteer organization. We need lots of help.
I'm Judy Guajardo. I'm the volunteer coordinator with Naho Aloha, and we provide support services for seniors, like transportation and friendly visits and that sort of thing. I'm here today because I have found that Hands on Maui and Get Connected has been a huge resource for us, and I'm at a point where, as our volunteer base has grown, we're at 240 now. It's time to put a layer in there so that they're engaged more and deeper, as well as recruitment. And there's no doubt I'll find some good jewels here today.
From each other too. Already I can hear some things that are in common, which is nice. It's great.
I'm here. I like being volunteer coordinator and putting on events.
I'm Nicole. I'm from Urban Services. I'm here just to learn about the volunteer opportunities. I'm Carrie Meyer. I work at Reno Era Visual Arts Center at the Lock House. We have a lot going on up there, so we need volunteers for 25 acres. We have tons of fundraisers, events, art openings, and are in constant need of just some additional help with those events.
Hi, my name is Jill LeBron. I'm with the West Nine Mountains Watershed Partnership, and we have a volunteer program. We're trying to kind of make it more robust and just get more volunteers, and we do native forest protection up in the West Nine Mountains, and so just kind of looking for ways to get connected with people and looking for more volunteers, and also me here to look for different opportunities just even for myself.
I'm Jenny Sano with the county's criminal transportation services, and we provide escort transportation. And with the increasing number of requests that we're getting, you'll find that we need more volunteers to fulfill that need.
My name is Lisa Fatad. I work with County of Maui Office on Aging. Jenny is actually my supervisor. What we're doing, we're just here trying to figure out our options to get volunteers for our assistant transportation.
I am Ivy Mitsuyuki. I'm with Kaunoa Senior Services. I'm with the RSVP program, which is a volunteer program. And I actually plan excursions for groups of seniors to go out and volunteer for a day. So I'm very interested in networking with people here. We can work with nonprofits and governmental agencies. And it's introducing seniors that are 55 and better to the idea of volunteering, although a lot of them are already volunteers. But it's introducing them to new places, and you never know what it could lead to. And so I'm with the Civic Adventures program with Kaunoa.
And Ivy, where did you just go to?
We feel so fortunate and very blessed that we went to Kalaupapa Monday through Wednesday. We just got back. So we spent 2 nights there, 3 days, and we were able to help clean marine debris at the shoreline by the lighthouse. And so there was lots of stuff that comes in, and so we're able to drag in large, huge heaps of rope that had barnacles growing, and glass and bottles and plastics, and just to try to help clean up that area. There's so much need over there. And the patients there also, believe it or not, collect stamps, postage stamps, and this is their way to be connected with the whole world. And so they're unable to sort and segregate the stamps, so we sat down and we started doing all of that also. And then we did some other gardening and weeds and pulling weeds and doing all kind of stuff like that. So we're kind of flexible in that way. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Sarah Routley. I'm a health educator with the Maui District Health Office, and I'm also a volunteer coordinator for the Maui County Medical Reserve Corps. And what that is, it's a medical volunteer agency that would be active in a disaster.
Hi, my name is Amandine Morty. I'm the volunteer coordinator at Haleakala National Park, and I'm new in the position, so this is a really good opportunity for me to network and learn ways of expanding the program, hopefully.
My name is Amy Kozad. I'm with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Maui. We are working on expanding our volunteer program and volunteer base. So here just really to build connections and learn how to grow that program.
I'm Maria Leon. I'm the farm-based program coordinator for the Maui Farm. We offer transitional housing for women and children who are homeless for because of domestic violence. And then we also have a 2-acre organic educational and therapeutic farm. So we also offer programs to the community with field trips, farm tours, volunteerism, and internships. But one of the things I was specifically interested in learning about was group service projects and how to coordinate that one-day project. We have 100 Seabury Hall students coming next Friday. So we'll see.
Aloha, my name is Stephanie Kaplan, and I am the Community Relations Manager for the Maui Food Bank. There's a couple of different hats in there. One of them would be the volunteer coordinator, so I take care of all of the volunteers for the Maui Food Bank. I also coordinate all the food drives that happen on our islands. The reason why I'm here today is because the County of Maui is so awesome. And the trainings that I've gotten from Hands on Maui, I can go on and on, but I won't, I promise one day. The skills and tools that I've gotten from Wendy's trainings has actually brought my agency to a different level. So today, besides engaging, managing, retaining all of these volunteers, and seeing how it all works with the different generations of volunteers that I have. So thank you very, very much. I gotta put a plug in. I'm also fresh from Molokai, not with Ivy though, but I was so fortunate yesterday to spend the day in Molokai and do a mass food distribution with all of the volunteers from Molokai. Amazing. Molokai is in need, I agree. Mahalo.
My name is Lillian Lechner. I work for the County of Maui, Kaunoa Senior Services with the Retired Senior Volunteer Program. I'm here to learn better building, communications and also connections with the community.
Hi, my name is Erin Ivert. I am the volunteer and foster coordinator at the Maui Humane Society. And we have a lot of volunteers. As some of you guys may have, where you have like 300 volunteers and only a handful that really come in. But we are always getting new folks in, and with
managing and training some of these youth that want to get really involved and kind of keeping them engaged. And so I'm here really to get more connected through this website, see how it can help us maybe streamline our volunteer recruitment and management programs to try to allow us to expand our programs, which will hopefully keep people engaged in the Humane Society a little bit longer.
Aloha, I'm Cynthia Nazario Leary. I work with the University of Hawaii Cooperative Extension, and I'm the coordinator for the Master Gardener program. So I'm here mostly because we have a kind of similar, we have a lot of volunteers, but I have a few that are very dedicated. And I'd like to build leadership within my volunteer group so that they can start taking charge of projects and that we can expand our capacity.
I'm Nancy Aoki. I also work for University of Hawaii Cooperative Extension. I run the 4-H programs, and we are in the process of changing our model a little bit from the 13-year volunteer to shorter-term projects, and I'm looking at ways to attract and find volunteers that might be interested in this project.
Aloha, good morning. My name is Cecilia Hardy. I'm a resident here on Maui for about 20 years. And I appreciate Maui because there's a lot of nonprofit organizations and they've sustained me throughout my time here, from a single mom to a parent and church member, different things. And so I really believe in people power and I want to learn to be a part of it.
Maya Warner, and I'm similar to her. We're just interested in volunteering and volunteer organizations, and just trying to find out what's going on.
And the we Maya talks about equals me. I'm Derek. We're together, and yeah, we'd like to know more about what's happening in volunteering on Maui and what we do with the
Thank you so much. It gives us a lot of insight into why people are here for lots of different reasons. Some of this will be covered today, some pieces of it we won't probably. But this gives Wendy some ideas for future training as well. So that was part of the reason why I wanted to go around and ask, because we were wondering about the agencies. Wendy said there's a lot of new people here that she hasn't seen before. So that was sort of interesting to see who was attracted to this particular workshop. And then also to get an idea of what you're needing from us. There's a lot of different pieces that you mentioned, a lot of things having to do with your group projects that we'll be talking quite a bit about. I can talk a lot about general volunteering and some different types of volunteering, give you some ideas and things there. And we'll be talking about some of the corporate entities as well, and sort of how to kind of up your level in terms of being involved at that corporate social responsibility level with those agencies too. Yeah, we can do that way. So thank you so much. It gave me a lot of insight. So I think, and also Wendy. So that was very helpful to us also for future trainings as well. So I think Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
You were wonderful. Thanks for volunteering, Wendy. See how we support each other all the time, right? And I know you do to each other as well, because that's what we do as volunteer coordinators. We're always helping, and that's the beauty of the position. So we're going to talk a little bit about the program that I work with, because it just kind of gives you an idea of some different ways in which volunteers are helping entities such as an organization like a city government. We have, in the past fiscal year, we've had 419,924 hours of service, which is a huge amount of service. And people don't realize how much volunteers come to government agencies and help out. A lot of times people are even wondering, like, why would you volunteer for a government agency? Because, you pay taxes. But we do get a tremendous amount of help in Sacramento. We're very, very blessed. That's actually the highest number of hours we've ever had. And I credit a lot of that to the fact that we come out of a recession, so a lot of our programs are running and full again, so we are in greater need of volunteers. But then also we do a lot with social media and websites and other pieces there where we're doing digital strategies. We just won a digital award, which was interesting. Yeah. Oh, Mike. Okay, let's just make that's better in the back. Is that better in the back? Okay, good. All right, so we 419,934 hours, and the value of the service that was donated to the city is over $9 million. And the other piece I was talking about was the social media and digital award that we just received, which is kind of a really interesting award for us to get. I'm the only paid person. There's nobody else, so it's just me. So I have to do everything with volunteers. Wendy and I are in the same boat, and a lot of you probably are as well. So it's not like I have a staff of bunches of people. I have volunteers just like everybody else. We're not different really. And then these are the ways that people volunteer for us. And so I thought I would share a little bit about that, because we're talking about different ways to get people to volunteer for your organizations and looking at different options for people. And one of them, of course, is short-term. I heard that in the back there a little bit, that people were saying they had a lot of people who are interested in short-term options and looking at maybe extending that. We also have a lot of community service projects that people do for us. We do seasons of service. I'll talk about that a little bit. A lot of ongoing. We're happy to have those. That's actually the more rare person these days, isn't it? It's that person that comes in every Thursday and wants to come and do something for you. That's getting a little harder to get. People like flexibility. So that's one of the things to build in when you're talking about trying to get someone to volunteer for you on an ongoing basis. Make sure there's some flexibility there. We'll talk about internships a little bit. We also have skilled volunteers and groups, and we'll go into a little more depth on those. And so some of the short-term things that we have a lot of parks, and I heard a bunch of people back there talking about parks and different types of cleanups and things like that. We have about 300 parks in the city of Sacramento, and so we have partnered with our neighborhood organizations to create groups that will do periodic cleanups as well. But those are short term. We have a great turnout for our parks projects. We get lots of people to come and assist. A lot of students particularly like to come out and help for just a few hours. A lot of people get signed off on for school hours, but that's one of the great ways to involve kids. We have lots of fairs and festivals, and I notice Maui has a lot of fairs and festivals, so we must have lots of volunteers engaged in that capacity as well. This happens to be our Gold Rush days. We, of course, Sacramento was part of the Gold Rush era in 1849. They discovered gold. Everybody came looking for it to become rich and famous. And these are some of the volunteers that are helping out with the Gold Rush days. We have an individual over here who is doing calligraphy and is sort of recreating that era. And then we also have performers, lots of also special events that occur, and lots of sports. We have the Amgen cycling tour that comes through every couple of years, and so they actually have 1,000 volunteers to help with that. We have Olympic trials as well, so lots of sporting events too. And this is one of our adopt-a-park groups. We've been fortunate that, well, this was actually kind of a necessity, so I'll share that part too. During the recession, we lost something like 2/3 of our maintenance staff. And I don't know if you all got hit that hard or not, but we really got hit. And so during the recession, the Great Recession, we lost most of our people that actually maintained our parks. So people started complaining because you'd have weeds, we'd have homeless living, in the parks. It got pretty difficult. So what we did was we partnered with a lot of our neighborhood groups and got them to support the idea of doing periodic cleanups in the parks. And so we were able then to start maintaining things a little bit better. So this is one of the groups that we have from Glen Hall Park that's participating in an Adopt-a-Park program. And that has worked out very well, and it continued after the recession. We have gotten a few more staff members added back into our maintenance staff, but we're still down quite a bit. And the Adopt-a-Park projects have really worked beautifully. It's also gotten community together, which has been really interesting. Some of them have taken on tremendous ownership of these parks, and they just look forward to doing these. They get local organizations and businesses to donate food. Everybody kind of gets involved. They cook lunch out there. They have a really good time. And it's actually become a way to kind of build community, which is kind of an interesting thing. It started as a necessity and people complaining because it was actually, our parks were not in good shape. But then it's become actually a community building effort, and that's kind of a nice thing that's happened. We also have a variety of community gardens. We have about a dozen community gardens, And they are part of our sort of farm to fork ethos. I know that's everywhere in the country, everybody's talking about farm to fork. But Sacramento has designated itself as farm to fork capital of the United States. So that's self-designated by our mayor. But it's true, they do have around Sacramento that's all ag land. So we have all kinds of, almonds are grown, like most of the almonds in the world are actually grown in Sacramento. We have huge rice fields and so forth. So there is a certain element of that is actually true. It's not just all marketing. But the community garden was this particular one. We had an alternate spring break group come from the University of Alabama in Birmingham, and they came and spent a week helping us get this particular garden started, which was in the Fremont Garden. So they actually came out and did an alternate spring break with us. And I've had a few colleges come out from different parts of the country and support us in that way. I know you have a lot of tourism, and so you probably have a lot of tourists that come and want to do things. So this is a similar sort of situation. Community service projects, I mentioned that's another way that we often have volunteers assisting. We have a lot of youth that want to volunteer that are very young, and I don't know if you're having people contact you about that or not. Our viability is pretty good. Our risk management team is pretty good about that. They will let kids volunteer with us that are pretty young. But those that are in the elementary school age range, it's much more difficult to get a project that your risk management team is going to say, okay, 5-year-old can help out with or something like that. So we do have community service projects that we've set up that they can participate in. This happens to be one with our animal shelter. It's our Front Street Animal Shelter. They have what they call Titanic's Pantry. And Titanic's Pantry is a food bank for pet food. And it's for homeless individuals as well as individuals that are low income. And so we want to maintain their ability to keep their pets. A lot of our homeless people have pets with them. It's actually quite a challenge in some ways for the shelters and others to deal with. And we as a community are trying to make sure that people can keep their pets, because I don't know about you, but our pets are family. And my husband, keeps checking on our cat, which is in a little, it's in a special pets place, it's called, and so it's actually part of our family, and so everybody, I think, feels that way a lot about their animals, and that includes people who are homeless. So what the Titanic's Pantry is it's a food bank basically for people to use that have pets who are homeless or who are low income. And so this particular family has gathered food for the Titanic's Pantry and has brought it into the shelter. So you might think about things like that too, in terms of what can you do that someone can do off-site and bring in or do for you. They also have to make cat toys, and then they have to make cat beds as well and bring them in. So those are some other little projects that they do. Seasons of service. I don't know if anyone here is participating. Are you all participating in any of the Seasons of Service, Wendy, at this time?
Actually, it's National Make a Difference Day tomorrow, and I forgot to mention it to everybody. We're actually we picked right this time because it's actually National Make a Difference Day tomorrow, which is a season of service, right? And along with, we've done Martin Luther King projects. We love to we always do National Volunteer Week every April.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're kind of fun to do because I just picked 3 of them that we participate in. We do Make a Difference Day too. Our community gardens does a big project. It's not actually open to the public. It's actually, we have an AmeriCorps ACCC campus that's near us, and so we take all of them out and they work in our gardens. So we don't actually make that one public, unfortunately. But with Martin Luther King Jr. Day, that's one that we participate in. That's in January. It's to celebrate Dr. King's birthday. And then National Family Volunteer Day is the Saturday before Thanksgiving. So that's coming up. And then Global Youth Service Day is in April. It's about the same time as Earth Day. So it's a little bit of a competition there. But it is a very large Seasons of Service Day. This was one of the projects that we did for Martin Luther King Day. We've had tremendous drought in California. You've probably heard about that. We haven't had much rain for about 5 years, so it's been quite a problem. And one of the things that we wanted to do was to do something around drought. So this particular project, and I'll talk a little bit more about the corporate piece of it, but what this is it's rain barrels. And so we were involved in a project where we had people paint the rain barrels and then they were installed in our community gardens. We did a whole event around that particular topic. And that was for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The Global Youth Service Day is the largest event for youth that's a volunteer event in the whole world. It's global. This particular one that we did was called Teens Go Green. And what we did was we had the teenagers come together and be trained in different conservation areas. So we had people from our utilities department come and talk about water conservation. We had people from our electric company come and talk about energy conservation. And then we had our recycling people come and talk about recycling. And then they went out into specific communities that had been determined by staff having to do with areas where water conservation was a problem. For instance, people had their water systems set up by the developers to make it look really, really green, and then people didn't change them. So even when there was a drought, they were just spraying water, all over the place. So they went into those neighborhoods and emphasized going door to door and asking people to pledge to do something related to conservation. And then we had another area where people were not doing the recycling correctly, and so it was contaminating the recycling. So we had them talk about that. And then they came back together, and whoever got the most cards, pledges, won prizes. So the kids really loved doing that. But what was interesting was that it was also so educational, not only for the youth, but also for the community as well. So it was a really fun event. And that was one of our Global Youth Service Days. National Family Volunteer Day is not one you hear a whole lot about. I think because there's no funding or anything around it, it's kind of a quiet one. Disney supports it, but there isn't really a whole lot said about it. We try to do something related to that particular program each year. We've done, card making. It's usually a time of year when it's really wet and cold in Sacramento, so we try to do something that's indoors. This year we're doing a volunteer speed matching event, and we're going to be having, we're focused on youth, so that we have agencies that provide opportunities for youth that are going to be participating. And then the potential speed daters come in and actually go around to the different tables. So you have your agencies seated, and then you have the volunteer daters go and move around and talk to people. So they usually do about a 3-minute segment for each one. So the conceit there is that you get to see about 20 different agencies within about an hour. And then long-term or ongoing, I think is probably the one that everybody really loves. We love our long-term volunteers because they're the ones that stay with us and do so much work all the time. They're practically our staff members, really. We have youth programs and museums, our zoo, our animal shelter, the police department, and our CERT team, which you see there, which is the Citizen Emergency Response Team from our fire department, is part of some of our ongoing and then after-school programs as well. We do a lot with youth programs. We have a lot of volunteers supporting youth. We do a lot of activities for kids, trying to do what they call hot spots, where they have events on Friday evenings, trying to give kids a safe place to be. And then our animal shelter, we have about 1,000 volunteers actually on the books for the Front Street Animal Shelter. Everybody loves animals. Everybody wants to help out. We have a lot of teens that help as well as adults. And our police department, that's our VIPs. You might have VIPs here as well. Volunteers in Police Service, that's a national program. And they are, in the background you see the little PT Cruiser. So they actually do a lot of the eyes on the street. If there's ever any problems with purse snatchings and things like that, they actually patrol the areas and have direct dispatch authority. And then we have our museums. We have a lot of volunteers helping with our different museums, including, of course, people being tour guides and helping out in the shops. And then our after-school programs, too. We have about 40 different schools that we have 2 different after-school programs in. And so we have volunteers assisting with all those programs as well. This happens to be kind of a peer volunteer. The young lady on the right is about 13 years old. She's a junior high student, and she's actually serving as the volunteer assisting the young man who is part of the after-school program on the left. We have a big emphasis on basically academic areas, particularly helping with homework, and also healthy eating and exercise are some of the things that are emphasized, and our volunteers are leading a lot of those programs. And then internships, we do have a variety of interns. I heard people back in the back talking about interns as well, so that's great that you're involving interns. And I think that that's one of the areas where you can get a lot of support for basically all kinds of different aspects. Right now we have a graduate student intern who is assisting our economic development department. They're going to be doing a lot of areas related to entrepreneurial development in our low-income neighborhoods. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch. We also have another intern that's going to be doing web development for that economic development program as well. And I wanted to share a video. See if I can do this correctly. One of my interns created a video for me. I thought I would just share that. It's kind of fun. We have no money, of course, for marketing, so just like most people out there. So one of my interns, I said, I need a video. I need something to show when I go and talk to the kids in the high schools, and something that's more, just sort of active. So she took her iPhone out, and she started going around and talking to people, and then she went back to college where she was attending and used some of their equipment to put it together with some of our photos. So I wanted to share this with you because this was a freebie, and it was an intern who did this, but just sort of a little inspiration of giving you an idea of maybe something that you might have an intern do. It might have to go down. Yeah, it is. This was me. We may not show that until later. Okay, let's try it again. It's always good to have my text.
Volunteering is a group of people working together to better the community. It helps individuals to change their outlook on life. One may not realise it at the time, but it helps to redefine who they are. As you help the community to prosper by supporting families, improving schools, supporting our youth, and beautifying our neighbourhoods, the community is helping to change you too. You start to gain a better understanding of what's going on in the world, and then left.
About where you are on your spectrum and where you want to go.
Yeah. Very, very tough.
Yes. You were doing my phone.
Yes.
Let's talk about hands-on projects. These are some of the ones we were talking about. The group projects were of interest to quite a number of people. And so this was one of the projects that I had mentioned a little earlier about the rain barrels in the garden. We had partners that included the City of Sacramento, Hands-On Superior, California, which is a hands-on network, and Java City, which was our corporate sponsor for this particular event. The partners included the corporate folks for the Java City. They actually provided the funding for the project. The Hands-On Superior California is our leader for our Martin Luther King programs, and so they are the ones that are gathering everybody together. And then, of course, the government included us for our volunteer program, the Department of Parks and Recreation, the Department of Utilities. And so how this worked, which was kind of an interesting intersection of opportunities, is that the Java City coffee roasters are very interested in water conservation. They actually work internationally with a number of their growers and roasters to work on water conservation in terms of their farming. And so that was a particular area of interest, and they came to us looking for something around that topic. So what we were able to do was we were able to have them fund the purchase of the rain barrels. And these are large plastic barrels that were then used for catchment for the water. And we had their corporate volunteers actually paint the barrels. So they were actually able to take them to their warehouse and paint them and make them very lovely. So they got involved in being able to do that piece of it. And then we installed them in our community garden. So we had them brought to the community garden on Martin Luther King Day. And then they were, there was a plastic sort of overlay that they painted on it to protect the paint. And then we were able to install them. This is our community gardens coordinator who is there helping to put that together. So they put up the gutters up there and then also the fittings. So they were working on doing that. So it was also a demonstration of what this would look like, how you could do this in your own garden. So we invited the public to participate in that. And they also were working in the garden and getting it all prepared. So we had our volunteers active from the community in that way and also learning about water conservation. And this was an individual from our utilities department that was they're actually providing information about water conservation, handing out lots of goodies so that you could do timing of your sprinklers and other things like that. So he was participating as well. And this is the finished product. So you can see the rain barrels and how they have been attached and we're catching the water. And they actually catch quite a bit so that we can then reuse it for our gardens. And we also had good media coverage for this as well. Lots of media were interested in this particular project. And we were happy about that. Part of that was because the corporate sponsor helped to get that out to the community, and also because I think it was just an interesting hook. And so I shared some of the hooks, and Wendy was talking about the hooks the other day, about how her marketing person's always talking about that. So part of that was the partnership with the local corporation, which was Java City. Also sort of key things that fit into it, such as water conservation, sustainability, and our farm to fork. And then the conditions that we were in, which was drought at the time. It was also educational. We were teaching a very old school thing, which is the water catchment, which people don't necessarily do in Sacramento. It's kind of an interesting thing. We're a very dry climate that people don't actually utilize that very often. And then it was a very positive thing that day. It was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's a solution to a problem. And it was also that kind of partnership with government, business, and nonprofits, which is a good thing to be able to share. Then I wanted to talk a little bit about a project that we did with Intel, which was Christmas with our Shriners Hospitals for Children when I was working there. And another way that you can, when a corporation approaches you, can look at what is it that you can have them do that supports something that you need, but also gives them an opportunity to share some of their skills. It was an interesting request. We had moved the Shriners Hospital from San Francisco to Sacramento. And they wanted to, of course, be involved in this new hospital, the Children's Hospital. So they came to us saying, what can we do? We'd like to maybe collect toys. We'd like to do something like that. And we said, well, what we really need is we have no Christmas trees. We have this huge hospital now, and we have no Christmas trees to decorate at all. There's nothing. What they had decided was that when we moved from the old hospital to the new hospital, that they were going to get new things. And so they didn't. Unfortunately, there was no budget, so they ended up with no Christmas trees at all. So I said, well, could you purchase Christmas trees, and then could you also create the Christmas decorations to go on them? So they set up a very interesting project within their organization where they had team leaders who actually created each theme for each tree. And then they put together all of the little teams worked on campus to create the Christmas ornaments and then some of them came down and actually put up the trees and decorated it. But what was nice about it is they were using it as a leadership training, so that they had people take charge of the different groups that were creating these themed trees and the items. And so they would then gather them at their campus and allow them then to participate in this fun event. So it's just one way to work with an agency that can't necessarily bring everybody to you, but they can actually create something for you that's very positive for us. They had a fun time. They also came and did collect toys as well, and did some fun games with the kids too. But it was, they bought 13 artificial trees, and then the staff created the ornaments. They arrived and set up the trees, and they also collected and wrapped the toys, and then the party for the kids. So it was a nice event. This is a big project that we do every year. It's the Sacramento Hotel Association. We've now done our 10th annual event. This was just done in September. And I know you guys have a big hotel association too, so we're talking a little bit about that. What the Hotel Association does is it brings 250 employee volunteers from 13 hotels and 7 vendors to help us with this big community event. We have 19 nonprofit agencies that hosted events this year, as well as it was 20 service projects and donations of household goods for our Lutheran Social Services, which is an agency that was developing apartments for emancipated youth. They're coming out of foster care. So these were some of the hotels and vendors that we had. And you'll see some of those are going to be ones that you have here, obviously, in Maui. So it includes the Hilton and Holiday Inn, Hyatt Regency. There's most of the major ones that we have in the Sacramento area. They also, we had SPUN, which is our public utility, and our Visit Sacramento, which is our tourism agency as well. And our Yellow Cab, which is obviously our cab service too, was involved. So we had quite a number of vendors and hotels involved. And we went out to 19 different agencies. And what happens with this is that we start off with agencies that are connected to the city. Is how I usually plan it. So we have them involved with us, and then we go, what did you say? Put that in front of your mouth, okay. And then we go out to a particular region or area, so that we're trying to support a particular neighborhood, particularly a low-income neighborhood, and then we're working with all of these different agencies to bring them in for projects. And what we have there are they're sorting donations for our food bank. That's actually a clothing drive that they have. They're also painting for the apartments, for the Lutheran Social Services, and then they're doing some cleanup. It's actually, they're doing cleanup there, one of the high schools that's a participant. We also have indoor projects as well. So here they're making cards for our veterans. This was from the Volunteers of America that it's going to, so they're cards for the veterans there. And then they're doing cleanups all around in different places. This happens to be our Ronald McDonald House charities. So they're working indoors, replacing light bulbs, scrubbing the walls, scrubbing the patio furniture. And then these are some of the organizations that participate, including Ronald McDonald House, one of our elementary schools, Kawana's Family House, one of our community gardens, and another school as well. And then they're doing a lot of outdoor work as well. So I'm sure you have a lot of the opportunities for them to do outdoor work. That's one of the places that we have a lot of our large-scale groups participate. These are all working around the Ronald McDonald House there. Then we have a collections component within that particular project, because not everybody who is involved at the hotels is able to get away. So one of the ways to get participation is to also have a donation component, so that everyone that's at those sites can participate in some way. These happen to be donations that are being provided to the Lutheran Social Services group that are going to be provided to those emancipated youth that are being able to go into those apartments. So as you know, if you are coming out of a homeless situation, or you're coming out of a situation where you're emancipated from foster care, you're often not given any materials to start your own home. So these are going to be some of the supplies that are going to be given to them for that. And these are some of the nonprofit agencies that participated. It included schools, it included Habitat for Humanity, it also included the Kiwanis Family House. Next Move is one of our shelters, community gardens, and other food banks and so forth. And Wind Youth Services is an interesting organization. They are actually the only shelter that is available for teens, to homeless teens, and they have a community center that they run. We're participating in painting and cleaning that particular one. And then we also celebrate the successes of that project, which is a fun thing. There's always raffle prizes. There's also different kinds of awards that are given. They're kind of cute. We do things like the dirtiest shirt, the person who took the most breaks, the person who has the most, is the best dressed. And one year, one of the gentlemen was actually wearing a coat and tie as he was doing this volunteer work, which was cute. Other people take and reorganize their T-shirts and do all kinds of additions to them as well, which is fun. And the lady on the left who won the dirtiest shirt, she was actually working in our community garden, and she went and rolled in it, actually, because she wanted to win that particular award, which was cute. And there's also the raffle prizes and things that they give out as well, which is fun. And then we also serve lunch and breakfast, and so you can see everybody in our community center that actually is getting their lunch together. And one of the things I wanted to talk about in terms of this particular project is that we have, everybody comes from their sense of strength. So that, for instance, we are providing, the community center is our beginning point and our end point. And we find that works well with these big projects, is to have some place where you start and end, and you're able to do your celebration. The food is actually provided through the hotels, so that they actually divided it up so that each one provides a certain number of lunches for their group, so that it's not all burdened on one. And they also have the opportunity to do the T-shirts through the taxi company provides the T-shirts, so we're not providing that. But we're providing an infrastructure. So for instance, you can see all those tables and chairs and things. We have our socials, we have our folks that do special events come in and set up for us. We have obviously the facilities there. And then we have, the AV and all of that. And we also have volunteers that document, including my husband back there, who's one of the photographers, so that we all contribute in different ways to make this particular event come together. And so I was looking at this sort of your area a little bit and trying to see what is it, something that's parallel. And I thought that the Hawaii Lodging and Tourism Charity Walk was an interesting one too. So that they had raised over $2 million for charities in the state, and actually over $900,000 for the county of Maui, which was really very, very impressive. And I was noticing that particular one. They also do community service events, such as their back to school supplies drive that they do as well. So I think that's potentially, obviously, one of your partners there. And so I wanted to have a little exercise, but I think we're about to take a break. So should we take our break first? Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's do 5 minutes. Sure. Let's make it quick. I know she's got a lot of great material to cover. So let's make a 5 minute, is that your time? 10-minute break. We've got great material to cover. So we will cover some of the stuff that that you identified this morning. So please come back, take a break, have some refreshments, and we have door prizes. We have 4 door prizes.
Supportive of your agency and program. So for instance, you might share who your partners have been. For instance, if you've worked with some of the universities, how has that gone, or any particular schools, or any hotels that you've been working with, or faith-based, that would be good to discuss among yourselves about what you're already doing, and then brainstorm a little bit about who might be a partner you could reach out to. so that it might be someone who might be connected to, I think we have somebody here from the University of Hawaii actually, and then restaurants or retail establishments or others that you may not have talked to before in terms of being volunteers with your organization. So if you could take a few minutes and just connect with your groups there. It looks like I think probably, David, you want to just turn around and talk to this group right